Who am I? We have been discussing on this point. We have seen that name is not I, the self. But we see in the world that name has a very good prominence for identification. So, how to serve the reality is a problem. The first answer is that one should be steadfast and a very good belief that he is not the name is essential. That will save everything. Belief on the reality is a boon for a man. The world goes on mundane activities and protecting mundane activities. So, once you have a strong belief that I am not the name, you get your own intelligence from inside as to how you can save. Say, for example, if somebody would ask, who are you? You should say, the one named Peter. You should say. Should not say, I am Peter. It's not correct. The one named Peter. Who has come? You should say, Peter has come. You should not say, I have come. Peter has come. Peter would go. Peter would do the job. It's something different from saying, I will do the job. I would come. I should never be brought into the world, into the mundane activities and thoughts. One might attack us, or counter us, saying, even Jesus has a name, even gods have name. How would you like to escape from a name? That's their mundane order. Well, in Hindu philosophy, the names which people say for gods, say Rama, Krishna, Shiva, they're all characteristical. They're all defined. Once they are defined, we will see the characteristics are with us. They correlate, they indicate the characteristics by which man is designed. They don't explain about a God away from him, away in some unknown abodes. No. Similarly, even if you call a Jesus, Jesus has got his own realized entity. He's a realized soul. Well, the name, do not know whether it will be able to define it. But once we remember the name Jesus, we get to remembrance the good qualities which he conveyed to us. That is Jesus. It's not a name. It's an indicative of the realities with an entity, a Godhead, or a God representative as people think of. Our thoughts should be in these lines. Never try to make up things by physics. This making up things by physics comes out from us only when we are very steadfast in physical ideas, mundane ideas. So the defect is with us. Even if you say about a God, a physics, a name, is not correct with respect to the God. It is a fault with respect to the one who is saying it. This is subjectivity, because the sense or the thought came from here, from within here. So the origin is here. Origin is at fault. Once the origin is corrected, the entire externals are very pious. They are corrected. External is never corrected, can never be corrected. It is because there is no error there. There is no mistake there. The mistake is within. So correction needs to be where the mistake is. Once the correction is once the correction is made at the source, then everything is corrected. Okay? Let us not be prejudiced that realities cannot be put into practice. No. Realities alone can be put into practice. And falsehoods, although they are in vogue, they have their own instability. Man is suffering those instabilities in the world. He is to recognize it. The next item in this point of discussion is about the physical body. I am not the physical body. We have, in our own experience in the world, that seeing is by object, and object is seen by the eyes. This is a very limited concept. Physically, we can disprove it. If we say that there is an object and seeing is by eyes, eye takes an image. Is image taking is seeing? All the more, the eye is a convex lens. It takes the image in reverse. So, should we infer saying that seeing is taking an inverse image? No. We are not doing it. See, by seeing we see an upright figure, but the eye takes reverse figure. Physically it is proved. Let's not work closing the eyes. Let's not work on limited perspectives. Seeing is not concerned with a physics, an object. Seeing is always a subjective entity. An subjective entity is a ray from the source. Source is Yada. We have seen existence, activation, revelation, dwelling, discrimination, awareness, accomplishment, all synthesized together. Yada. It is said as Sat-Cit-Ananda in Hindu Dharma. That is I. And seeing is a ray of that Yada, consciousness of that Yada. Once the consciousness of Yada is realized and cast as a ray on the object, we will see that it is also a consciousness of Yada. Even if we don't know this, we still play the same role, same game, but innocently. You know how we do it? We say we should start dealing with the object with saying it exists. It exists. Existence, you should talk about it. Without that, the dialogue, the issue doesn't start. Okay, but existence is not revealed or is not made known to us, neither the object tells us that it exists. So wherefrom we see the sense of existence? Either it should be from the object or from the seer. Object is not giving that sense. It is not indicating. So it is a ray cast on. The ray of the self cast on that. So the existence that we act upon on the object is the ray of existence from here. And the activation that we work on that is the activation here. The way in which this existence is activated is reflected there. The extent, the quality of activation of the existence here is the quality of activation of existence on the object. This knowledge need not be referred to either Veda or Bible or Quran or any religious scripture. Need not be asked anybody. We should very well ask our own self. Not even the object. And the revelation, the amount of activation which is activated and cast there, reveals only here. It doesn't reveal there. That doesn't reveal. It's just like a mirror. Only once the man is here, you will see an image in the mirror. If the man is out of the sight, there is no image there. It's an image. The world is an image. Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam. It is explained. Darpana Drishyam, an image in a mirror, is the entire external world. The image is the existence here is real. Existence on the object cast is an image. The activation here is real. The activation there is an image. The revelation on the element of existence activated here is real. Seen there, as we call, is an image seeing. I cannot dwell there. Even if I say I am dwelling in the external object, external issue, it's an utter falsehood. Utter falsehood. It's because I dwell only in me. This is an electromagnetic field here. Electromagnetic field. Electromagnetic field doesn't never go out of its field. There is an electromagnetic non-physical field. It is defined thus by the language Samskrita. Existence. To be endowed with the element of existence is Vidyut. To be endowed with the element of activation is Vidyut. To be endowed with the element of revelation is Vidyut. Vidyut is electricity. In English it is. To be endowed with a dwelling in the revelation is Vidyut. All the 7 elements endowed individually with is Vidyut. And conducting with it, and the conducting to be revealed to me is Ayaskanta magnetism, electromagnetism. Yada is not a simple lump of mud. It is not a piece of flesh. It is a non-physical consciousness of non-physical electromagnetism. The rays of electromagnetism move out. Should we call a ray, or should we call the frequencies? The difference is, as we suspect, is because we see about a ray or a physics, magnetic frequencies in physical forms, limited form. It's very wide here. The ray is very wide here, explained non-physically. The frequencies are very widely explained. We shall see all of them in the coming lectures. But let us see that this is an electromagnetic field. This electromagnetic field has its own frequencies going out, or rays going out, and balances the entire external universe here. Let's see here. We have the Sun family. Sun is also a fire electromagnetic field it is. It has 9 planets as we physically see it. The planets are away from the Sun, and the Sun holds it from his end. Planets are at the free end of the ray of the Sun. Do you know the load is very much? Technically it is called a bending moment. There is load here on the free end, the cantilever. The bending moment is very, very much. It's very easy to hold a planet probably in a hand like this thing, but it's not like that. All the more, the planet is not held by the Sun by either a stick or an iron rod, or none like that. It is a physical item, all right, but cannot be seen by eye. It is an electromagnetic ray. By electromagnetic ray, it is holding it. The bending moment is very heavy. It's able to hold, we say, is as a wonder in the world. But the more wonder is the electromagnetic source here can hold the entire external cosmos, not at all feeling the load of it. Pacifically, this is I. This cannot be a physical thing. Physics utterly fails to explain the non-physical inside with all the developed technology today. It's because the technology is a lenient technology, limited way of expression of the inner intelligence. The entire technology is coming from inside and used limited to physics, cutting off from the source. It is not explaining the source, explaining outside, and in an illusion that everything is from external, everything is of the external. No, even for a sense of doubt to think that it is coming from inside. And if a man feels that it is coming from inside, it is for his ego to say, I have done it. This I is not an element designed in the universe. So, once we are sure about the concept, the consciousness of I, it is not difficult for us to short circuit the physical body or the physical entities outside to converse with, or to bring into our conversation or our entertainment. If somebody would ask about us, we may say, have to refer mundane way to self. He will think of a physical body. But the man of knowledge, man of awareness would not refer. He would say, yes, this body came for the work, let us say. This body came for. Never say I came for. I never comes. I is all pervading. This body came. Or maximum we would say, this Peter came. Name. Let us link both the physics, name and form, and protect I, the self, the pious, the reality. We may get it out that even the so-called gods have a physical body. What is the wrong with my having a physical body? This is ignorance. None in the universe, even amoeba, has no physical body. Has or has no is not with respect to the physics. It is with respect to the consciousness and maintaining it in awareness in the activities or in the mundane activities, even in the mundane activities. You should appreciate the difference. Let us, just for a simple example, if the hand has to be lifted, we know that mind should activate, signals should come from mind and to the brain, and the brain should issue the signals for the hand to lift. Mind is a non-physical entity, and beyond it is intelligence, what we call, whether it is a mundane intelligence or the real intelligence. It is an intelligence. The signals should come from intelligence to the mind. Mind should pass it on to the brain, and the brain should convey it to the hand. If only we say that the hand is lifted, it is an utter falsehood. Utter falsehood. A mundane, utter mundane thing. A physical man, we should call him. Man of physical concepts. Hand can never lift by itself. It has to be lifted. Can you just imagine a non-physical entity can lift a physical body, a physical hand? It is being done. None can negate it. No need to refer Veda, no need to refer Bible, no need to refer Quran, no need to refer either Krishna, Lord Jesus, Lord Allah. No, not necessary. Refer here. Refer here. You get the real answer. This is a direct answer. That is a hearsay answer. If you refer anybody else, that's a hearsay answer. This is a real answer, a direct answer. A direct answer is scoring out our doubt. Say, just as I don't have a form, a physical form. When a physical form is a falsehood for this I here, how can it be a reality for the God-man? For the God? Just think of, how dare you say that Jesus has a physical body? How dare you say that Allah has got, or Krishna has got a physical body? It is not explained there like that. The religious people think of, religion is something, a limited thinking. Religion is not virtue, is not dharma. Let us not refer to the religious people. Let us refer to the reality. The reality is with you. Right? It's physically proved here. I don't identify by physics. I'm not allowed. I may do any amount of penance. I cannot see this physical face. It's because it's an utter falsehood to say the physical face and identify myself. This is a design elevation, the elevation of design, the supremacy of the design. And this supremacy is all-pervading. So never bring in doubts. We should work for doubt-free, foolproof methods. Doubt-free methods, foolproof methods of learning. That is man. Okay? And do you know why all these things are coming? Undoubted it is. It is the man who is making himself crooked. He is making himself crooked by his ignorance and reluctance on reality. Reluctance on reality, if we use a word and say and think that reality is somewhere hanging somewhere, and what is the necessity for me to think of it? No. Reality is self. This is universe. Single version in the universe. Reality is with me, with I. I don't call it as me. Me is something, a language. I is consciousness. Reality is with I. So I cannot neglect it. I cannot be reluctant. I cannot dare to be reluctant. If only I am daring to do it, you face the consequences. We are facing the consequences. Mental tension, brain tension. We are not happy. We think we have achieved many in the world, but not a consistent happiness. We have not achieved a consistent happiness. It's a picturized projection of our conduct in the world. Picturized. Our conduct is picturized and shown to us, saying that we are not happy in this world. Happiness is within, is subtle, is a source, a point of source, a consciousness of source with us. Happiness is not outside, because I is not outside. I is happiness. We are not able to put it into practice or realize it in the mundane world, because this I is cramped and projected out, jumbled in the mundane world. A non-mundane entity is jumbled in the mundane entities, created mundane entities. This is the fraud a man is doing. And the fraud, whichever is doing, it is not a fraud for the external world, not for dharma, not for any reality. It is a fraud for him. It's a fraud for him. Save self. Everything will protect us. Save self. See everything as the saved self. This unsaved self is the entity you. You is a counter form, is a duplicate form for I. Anything, say, as an object, there's no object. Object is a duplicate entity for this I, subjective entity. An entity as a man or anything as you is a duplicate entity of recognizing self. It is because that man is identifying himself as I. How dare a person can address him as you, who is identifying himself as I. You is not there. Is not there in consciousness, in identification, in the reality of identification. If that man also is in the same line as making crooked his own things, that is a crooked entity for him. It is not real entity. Either you address the crooked entity or the real entity. Both ways. He may have both. But what would I see? I see the reality. But if I have to address that crooked, I should agree the crookedness in my reality senses. No, it's not possible. I don't agree. I should not agree. A crooked entity is a real entity, would never agree, would never think of, would never reach by any of its way. Let us get to a real sense on the reality. A sense. Sense is always elevated than any language, any knowledge externally. Sense is of the self. So there is no you. The more firm a man is on his realities, he will be able to, that form, that more, that greater quantum, he will be able to get out of the crookeds of the self working on the outside. And it is sure that the man can put it into practice. Man is designed the reality, and his physical body is also a designed entity, system, to be able to operate his reality on that. It is not a system to operate falsehoods. It is a designed entity, and it is corrupted by the so-called birth from a male and a female source. Physical body is dating it. In spite of it, it doesn't lose its design entity. The physical body, by genes, it is being corrupted from the parents, but by design, it is protected. If you are a learned man, no, it's wrong. If the self is the self is learned, see the design. Just as a scientist or a mechanical engineer has designed an equipment or a machine, it is working. You cannot see the design there. You cannot see the physical working on that. Common man can see, but the designer can see the design. He can see the ups and downs or downfalls or mistakes of design there. It is only the designer who can see, not a common man. Design is a non-physical entity. It is the intelligence of the designer. We cannot disprove anything just because throwing it into the mundane world. Throwing it into the mundane world is, there is no world. We have to throw ourselves in the mundane world. Throwing into mundane worlds, the self is never corrupted. It's only the concept, comprehension of the self is corrupted. Let us repeat. Self, I, is never corrupted. It's only the comprehension of the self, I, is corrupted. And it's all the dangerous calamities that we see in the world is the calamities of comprehension, not of the reality. Let us elevate ourselves to reality and correct the comprehensions. Look at this entire universe as the one real sense, one entity interconnected. One entity interconnected, the universe. Right? Now, your doubts are free. You can put it into practice. Are you? Let us continue in some more lectures in the future. Time to come. Let's meet again.